You already wrote the hook.
Which one?
I was wrong about video.
Nah.
Come on.
Do you see, that needs context.
So I recently got to sit down with the #1 LinkedIn creator in the entire world, Jasmin Alic. Now the plan was to make one video, but the conversation was so good that we ended up making 10 videos. So in this episode, you're going to get Jay's take on the emergence of video on LinkedIn and how you should be looking at it. You're also going to learn how writing hip-hop lyrics compares to writing social media posts. If you don't know, Jay was actually a rapper before becoming a marketer. Plus, you're going to get a look at Jay's unconventional sales approach that he uses on LinkedIn that's got him booked out for speaking gigs, booked out for one-to-one coaching, and a huge paid community of LinkedIn creators. And make sure you stick around to the end because you don't want to miss this fourth content pillar because that's a lot of where the sales start to convert. So let's get into this conversation with Jay. You already wrote the hook.
Which one?
You ready for it?
Give me that.
I was wrong about video.
Nah.
Come on.
Do you see, that needs context. You see? That needs context.
Give me the context.
So when I wrote the hook that reads, I was wrong, I meant I was wrong about the joy of making video, not video as a trend, okay? I still, to this day, feel like you don't need video, which is the misconception. I still don't agree with that. So you don't need video. Need is the word where I face a lot of backlash for that, right? Like everyone's going like, LinkedIn is pushing video. We should be doing video. Should, correct word. Need, incorrect. Big difference between the two. You can still survive and build a glowing brand and amazing authority with non-video content. You can still do that. But should we be listening to the rules of the platform? Should we be listening to the whispers of LinkedIn where they're basically telling us, hey, we're investing millions in the video feed. We're kind of pushing video as this new content format. Yes, we should. But do you need it? No. What I said to you was I was wrong about how much it actually takes to create video. And to be fair, that's part of my branding. Whenever I try to do new things, I want to do them at a higher level than the average person. But I was like, you know what? You can just roll the camera. Like, take your phone. Like, literally, you don't need extra equipment. You don't need any extra fancy setups or whatever. You can just take your phone and roll with it. And I feel like that's what's keeping a lot of people stuck. That's what's genuinely keeping a lot of creators, CEOs, business owners, founders stuck in overthinking mode. Meaning, I need to have this amazing production team, amazing production value when I want to publish video content. And that is simply not true. You can just take your video, literally frame it this way. Like I'm recording this on a laptop camera and it still looks good, right? So you genuinely do not need that much to create good video content. And I feel like at the very beginning, I was of the opinion that, nah, you can't make it look that basic, that simplistic. I don't agree with that anymore. So I was genuinely wrong with that.
Why do you say that? What have you seen that leads you to believe that?
Well, I feel like it's not the production, it's the value of the information and just the overall personality of the person, right? And it's the same with other forms of content. When you really think about it, there's brands that are still succeeding in 2025 with text-only content. They're not really doing anything major in terms of visuals. You will almost never see them post carousel content, rarely a photo of themselves. They're just doing text only. And I feel like with video, it's the same thing. All you really need to do is fire up your phone's camera, and that's it. You don't even need a fantastic microphone because our phones' microphones are actually phenomenal. They're really good. So, I feel like all of us collectively, globally, are just stuck in overthinking mode. I'm just like, you know what? At this point, just do it. The information and all the other stuff that you do is what gives it the quality. Now, this brings me to the next point. A lot of people need to get trained on how to speak. A lot of people still are missing that part of their communication skills. Same goes for LinkedIn content. Like everyone can design something, but not everyone can write it well. Not everyone can communicate it well. This is why I preach about improving your writing as a skill. Writing is your most important skill. Same goes for public speaking, or if you will, speaking in general. A lot of people, and I know this for a fact, because a lot of people ask me for that advice, because I speak on a lot of stages around the world. They're like, how do you speak so confidently? And I'm like, I don't even consider it confidence at this point. I'm just speaking to other humans. How, and then my question is, right? How do you normally talk to people when you go outside, when you meet someone for the very first time? Do you overthink everything you're going to say, or are you just talking? And they're like, well, obviously, I'm just talking. I'm like, well, that's the same thing you should do on stage. Don't talk super fast. Make the other person feel heard and understood. Look for those physical cues, right? Those head nods. Look for the eye contact. That's what you should be doing the same with your video content as well, right? Move your head. Don't be a robot. Like, don't just look into the camera and speak like this with no movement, right? Like, move your head regularly. Like, tilt your head, go up and down, like rotate a little bit as you're talking. Like, prove to the other person that you're human. Use your hands. I feel like the usage of hands is so underrated when it comes to video. A lot of people are never moving their hands, and again, it makes them stiff, right? They're just sitting like this. It's not the army, man. Just move, right?
I've got the opposite thing. I'm Italian or whatever, so I do the whole like this.
Same, man. I like right now. I'm consciously putting this is my left arm. I'm putting it down because my microphone is here. I'm kind of scared to kick the microphone. So I'm just using this hand to kind of guide the visual, guide the viewer. And I feel like the other part is a lot of people never ever have inflections in their voice. Same goes for writing. A lot of folks never have that rhythm, right? Where it's something is longer, something is shorter. You take breaks, you breathe, you pause. And that genuinely translates into speaking. A lot of people don't pay attention to the tempo and to the structure, to the rhythm, if you will, of their speaking. People don't pay attention to this. And the second you catch yourself speaking too fast and never taking a break, you're going to be out of breath. You're going to be out of breath pretty soon. Big mistake of a lot of public speakers as well. They never take breaks. They never breathe. And then they get winded. Like, you literally hear them talking. And then instead of taking a half a second break, you end up taking a 5-second break because you genuinely need air. And yeah, anyhow, a lot of connection between talking on video and creating content for social media versus public speaking in general versus writing. I feel like it's all one big world that we call communication, right? See how I'm using my hands, quotes. And this is what I would do in writing as well. If I was writing a post, right? I would air quote whatever I was writing. So yeah, man, it's like a giant communication conversation. And I feel like it's not even LinkedIn video anymore. That's not the topic of conversation here. It's genuinely communication. How do we improve that skill set?
Love it. All right. So now that you're on the video train, and not only are you on the train, but like you're loving it. What does that mean for you? Where is the next place we're going to see your video content?
Look, man, I'll be very honest. I enjoy video. I enjoy primarily speaking into the microphone because, my background is in music, and I've spent a lot of my years in a studio. I've spent it on a microphone, rapping, singing, producing, mastering, all of that. So shooting music videos was a part of the deal. And whenever now I'm kind of looking into the camera, I just do it. It's almost like a performance. I don't need a script. I have all the lines memorized in my head. I genuinely do not need a script. And you and I have had this conversation in the past, like, do you use a script for your videos? I never do that. Like, I can literally just take my phone, go through my notes, take a look at some of the post ideas I've had for the future, like upcoming posts. I'll take 2 seconds. I'll just look into the camera and be like, what if you, and then like immediately just jump into the video, because I don't need that prep because I'm so used to speaking into a microphone and I'm so used to teaching. So for me, it's the dear son approach, right? Like that's my main approach. I literally just picture myself talking to my son and what would I tell him about this particular topic? And I get into this zone, right? Like I immediately change my tonality. I immediately become calm. I breathe. It's like I'm talking to an actual person. And that really helps me record these videos for social media. So yeah, man, it's like I'm enjoying it. I'm genuinely enjoying it, but it also has a lot to do with my past life. Like I love the performance aspect of it.
The question is what's next? Like, are we going to see like a YouTube channel or what?
I'll be honest, I would love to be on YouTube. Um, the only problem I have is I don't have that kind of time at this moment in time. Very much focused on being a parent. And yes, I know it's costing me a lot of opportunities. Yes, I know, before you get at me, YouTube included. I feel like if I were ever to do YouTube, it would need to be on a super high level. I don't just want to record, screen recordings and demos and, oh, here's how you do this, here's how you do that. I could, it's simple, it works, but I wouldn't be happy. Like, I wouldn't be satisfied with the level of quality. So yes, I would love to do YouTube, but I don't know. I just need, I would need a helping hand.
It's not in the immediate plans, but it's on the
I
back
want
burner.
to. I genuinely want to. And obviously I could talk for hours and hours on certain topics, right? Personal branding, LinkedIn growth, copywriting, psychology, all that. But I would need a helping hand in structuring all of that long term and just not wasting a lot of time on it. Because YouTube is still social media. You still got to approach it as a brand new channel. It's not just producing the videos and then hit upload and you're done. You still got to manage the channels. You still got to grow it, right? It still has to be part of your overall strategy. And I don't have time for YouTube right now. I genuinely do not have that kind of time. But it's in my wishes. I would say it's on my bucket list. I want to do YouTube 100%.
Got it. So, all right, one of the other ideas that I had for a video for you was to just have you make a sales video, since you never do that. You never sell in your
It's
content.
on my website now. It's the easiest to how I do it.
No. I mean like a video.
Let me tell you this, though. Let me tell you this, though.
That promotes your community.
No. But let me tell you this. I feel like we need to have a conversation of what it means to sell.
Yes.
When people say record a sales video, I feel like everyone just kind of shifts their mindset into, oh, I need to promote something. They forget that ultimately at the other end of the screen is a human being. We promote so much that we forget to talk. We're not having a conversation with the other side. We're just selling to them. And I recently created a sales video, if you will, for my community, for LinkUp, and I put it up on the page. And as people are watching, I've heard this from so many people, like, we didn't even realize that we were watching a promo video. You told us at the very end of the video, this is my sales pitch to you. And we were like, David, did we just watch 90 seconds and we didn't realize it? And I'm like, yes, because that's my way of selling. I use different tactics. I don't follow the same old standard, structures of like include the benefit, include the problem, agitated here. I know how to do it. I just don't want to do it because for my taste, it feels more salesy and less human. And I prefer it to be the other way around. I want to be human first, sales second. And whoever doesn't like that, I get it. It's okay. You don't have to be that way. It's a personality thing, right? But for me, sales and being human, it needs to come together. And 99% of the time, if you just take, you don't even have to ask anyone, take a look at any other sales video out there, particularly sales videos. The human aspect is lost, man. And that's what bothers me. That's why I do sales differently.
When I say sales video, like, I don't mean like a VSL video. Ultimately, I guess the hook that I would say for a sales video is like, you will never grow on LinkedIn if you continue to do this bad habit, right? And then you go in and you talk about the bad habit that people do, and then you talk about,
sales video.
And by the way, this is what I teach people in my community. Would you consider that to be a sales video?
No, that's still just a regular educational video. I feel like there's a clear distinction between selling and educating. Education can lead to sales, but that's not a salesy video. That's not a sales video.
But the intention, though, is like, I'm going to create this video to promote my community, though.
Exactly.
It's the intention.
Exactly. But the intention doesn't create the type of video. You can still educate and still generate sales. You can post a selfie and still generate sales. Or selfies, sales posts. See? Like everything, the intention behind putting content out there, the intention behind everything is still sales. I told you, I do sales differently. I approach sales differently. I don't follow the standard tactics of, bottom of the funnel posts and here's what we've done for XYZ client. Here's how you can do the same. Here's what we can do for you. I don't do that. I have hundreds of those. But for me, whenever I'm doing those, I'm alienating so many people because they don't care about it. They just genuinely don't care about it. Because the second you tell your audience, here's what we've done, here's who we've done it for, that if they're not inside that niche, they won't care because it doesn't relate to them. You're alienating them. And that's the problem with a lot of sales posts. They really need to be targeted. And unless you're using targeting, meaning ads, paid ads, I'm not doing it. That's why, like for ads specifically, I will create 30, 40 different ad concepts specifically aimed for that target audience, because that's where I come from the ad world. I've done so many ads and bits of ad copy and billboard ads and radio ads and so many of those. And every time we would do this, it would be very structured, super duper, like huge campaigns, right? When we were doing Google ads, man, we were doing like ad sets like in the hundreds. Like everything was so structured. And it would literally just be tweaking 2 words so that it fits that niche, so that you're speaking exactly to the right customers. We would do that with everything. Meta ads, Facebook ads back in the day. And that's what bothers me about LinkedIn content. The more targeted you make it, the more you alienate everyone else. That's the problem. So unless it's paid and really targeted reach, you're going to alienate a lot of people, which begs the question, right? If you're knowingly going to alienate a lot of your audience, you're knowingly decreasing your own reach. Why post in the first place? There has to be a better way. And luckily, we have found a better way. Those bottom of the funnel posts, we don't do them that way. We have a different approach as to how to write them. I would say 95% is the same as the standard sales post. It's the 5% difference that matters. And yeah, that's how we do sales, man. And it works. Obviously, it works.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, your community's sold out. You're booked out for months and months and months. So, all right,
it's a good
come
problem.
back to the music thing real quick before we go.
Just so you know, I'm not giving you the bestest answers possible, but I want it to be unique as well.
No.
I'm very, very much aware of that.
I'm good on that. So, I want to come back to the music thing for a second, right? So you hinted at it, like the music, like helped every single aspect of, what you're doing now, from the writing to the video to the presenting or whatever. Right. So, one, how has like writing, how is writing like hip hop lyrics similar to writing LinkedIn posts?
Oh man, that's a great question. I'll lead with this first so you can understand why I love writing so much and why I love writing lyrics, why I love writing ad copy, everything, and now, LinkedIn content and all that. For me, writing is a daily habit. Like that's just how I function. You can ask anybody. If I don't write today, I can't go to sleep. I have to write. Like it's almost like therapy for me. I have to produce in order to rest. Unless I produce, I can't rest. Like it's just too many things going on. For me, writing is just an outlet. It's a creative outlet. It's a therapy outlet, whatever you want to call it. So for me, the connection between writing lyrics to writing social media content is impact, genuinely. Like you're writing for the sole purpose of impacting somebody else's thoughts, somebody else's opinions, somebody else's life. And with music, like that's the purpose of music. You want someone else to feel better. You want someone else to basically think the way you think, believe in what you believe. You want someone else to love what you do so much that they trust you, that they know you, that they follow every single thing you're doing, right? Like that's the purpose of making music and creating a fan base around that music. Same goes for social media content. You're writing so that people can align with how you think, how you teach, right? It's school of thought, right? So you're writing to attract people to your school of thought. And if that school of thought also teaches them how to sell something of their own, but also give you money in the process, meaning you can sell something of your own to them, then you create a sense of community. So in music, we call it a fan base, but on social media, we call that, right, following. We call that a community. So basically, not everyone will always buy every album, buy every product that you're selling, but they will always listen and support, right? They will always consume. And I feel like there's that difference between folks who don't care about community, they just care about sales. And you've heard this for like about a lot of artists over the years. Oh, they cashed out, they sold out because they genuinely didn't care about the audience. They were just following trends and trying to get that next big hit, but they fade away much faster than they go up. And I'm keeping that same mentality with my brand on social media and my content. I don't want to just go up so I could quickly fizzle out. I really want to build a community for the long term where people feel valued, where people feel heard. And I don't just want to chase the latest trend. I want to change the game, man. Like I want to create something new, something that other people can now follow. And I believe we've achieved that plenty of times over the years. I feel like it's almost like like an orchestra, man. Whenever you publish something and there's people echoing what you're doing, right? What you're saying, what you're sharing. Because you see the reposts, you see folks tagging you in posts, you see folks using your name, your face, your words as their hooks. And how is that different from a concert? How is that different from the homies getting together on, did you hear the new Kendrick Lamar? And they're playing it, right? Like it's the same thing. So for me, there's a lot of touch points between music, making music, creating a fan base versus creating content on social media, building a community, and then growing your authority. It's just two different industries, but it's essentially the same exact thing.
All right. So look, I got you. I got 20. I mean, I only locked you in for 20 minutes, but do you have,
We can stay for 10 more. We can stay for 10 more. It's fine. I gotta pick up my son now.
All right. All right. Let's see. All right. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yes, let's go.
Can you spit a few bars?
Nah, man. You know I don't do that. People have asked so many times, and every single time the answer is I am retired.
I've never heard anybody ask you for
Oh man, they've asked.
Okay.
The only person who hears me.
I'm sure I'm not the first person.
I'm not that special, first and foremost. I'm not that special. My rats say I'm not that special. But the only person who can actually hear me enjoy the performance is my son. We jam out in the car, Eminem, 50, Busta Rhymes. Yeah, that's
okay. So we're from the same hip hop age too.
I feel like the earliest hip hop that I was listening to was Pac and Biggie, and then Dre and Snoop, and then Eminem, and then obviously 50 and all that. So yeah,
that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
All right. So, one more thing I wanted to talk to you about, that fourth content pillar that you do. I want to like, can you explain like just your thought process or concept behind that fourth content pillar that you have?
I can, and your iPhone might fall off. By the way, it's moving. I don't know.
Oh no, that's my AI camera.
Oh, okay, it's following me.
If you use your hands too much, then the AI camera starts going.
Oh, makes sense. I was like, don't let it fall.
No, it's good. We're good.
Fourth content pillar. Okay. So I'm of the opinion that you don't just talk about business on LinkedIn, meaning when people tell you create your content pillars, it's usually just, create those educational topics. I always tell my clients, and I always tell everyone, add one more content pillar that isn't about educating your audience on your expertise. Add a content pillar that's personal, something about your beliefs, something about your culture, something about your morals, if you will, about your values. And to me, this is what separates brands that genuinely create this deeper human connection with their audience versus just tips and tricks brands. There's a lot of tips and trick brands. This is a mouthful. There's a lot of tips and tricks brands on LinkedIn. They're just informational brands. I don't call them personal brands. I literally call them informational brands because it's almost like there's no human behind it. There's just sharing advice. You see, it's monotony, man. It's just the same old. I don't feel a deeper connection because genuinely, I can Google 99% of that stuff. There's no personal opinions ever. There's no personal touch. You're never sharing anything personal from your life, like the way you think and why do you think that way. And again, this is to me what creates the biggest brands. The biggest brands understand that ultimately you're speaking to other humans, because if you just want to become another informational brand, you don't even need to show your face. And ultimately, there's the word personal in personal brand. So if you're not going to add anything personal to it, just tell people to go Google stuff. Like genuinely, there's zero difference.
Where is the line though when it comes to that? Like, because
Oh, well, obviously there is a line. When I say share personal stuff, I don't mean overshare. A lot of people I feel like a lot of people use LinkedIn as a diary, right? They're sharing stuff that ultimately depositions them. It's not positioning them as a brand. It's literally like almost shuffling everything. It's shuffling them out the game, man. It's like there's folks who talk about burnout, and it's okay, right? Talk about burnout. Everyone experiences burnout. It's fine. But
okay.
just consider where the line is. Like, why would you share certain things with the public? For me, that limit is also kids. And I'm not trying to teach others what to do with photos of their kids and everything. For me, there's a line. I will never publish a photo with my kids on social media. There's a line. And that's just personal, again. And the reason why my personal brand is now different for everyone else's is because I can talk about this and I can teach you about my values, and they can be completely different from yours. But the people who believe in this side of the story, they're going to align with it, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe, right? And the person who doesn't agree, they're going to unfollow, they're not going to be there. But ultimately, it also kind of has to do with who you attract as clients, right? How many times, Danny, like be honest, how many times have you accepted a project where you didn't do enough pre-qualification? Like mostly you accepted it because the paycheck was good, and then you start working with someone and the energy is just off. Like you would literally pay them to get rid of them, right? This is what those fourth content pillar types of posts do. This is what those personal posts do, because the second you start sharing more than just business advice, people will align with your energy. They will align with your vibe. They will align with your way of thinking versus just the information, right? And then it really plays a huge part in the relationship you build as service providers and clients. I've had that situation happen many times until I started posting more personal content. This filters out everyone who doesn't align with me. The second I started posting more personal content, I've had clients who are almost always the perfect fit. And sometimes we don't even talk. Like they just book, we get on a call, it's the perfect fit. Why? Because they align with what I'm saying. Why would I publish something about Steph Curry is the worst shooter of all time, right? And then someone who's a huge NBA fan like comes on the call and they're like, "What the hell did you say?" And I'm like, "Chill." Obviously, Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. Personal stories genuinely impact business as well, and it goes both ways. If you're oversharing, pay attention to how it impacts your business, but also whatever you are sharing, pay attention to who you want to attract. And the same goes for overly negative content, like super duper negative, people calling each other out every single day. You tag someone, you call them out, you do this. This approach is bad. Here's why mine is good. And I'm like, why do you need that first part? Because like when I'm reading some of those posts, it's like people will tag someone. They're like, they said this. Here's why I disagree with it. Blah, blah, blah. Here's my way. Here's why it's good. And I'm like, why did you need that first part? Like, just tell me, here's my way. Here's why it's good. If your way is that good, it's going to survive on its own. You don't need to call anyone out. And I see this type of content a lot in the feed. But again, this is my way. And I would align with a certain type of person. But there are innately negative people who genuinely need that conflict, who love to battle. They love that combat in the comments. And, you know, your vibe attracts your tribe, ultimately.